next week's debate, the last word is going to go to Donald Trump. The campaigns flipped a coin. The Biden team chose tails, and they got to pick whether or not they wanted their preferred podium position or they wanted to pick their order of closing statements. The Biden team wanted a podium more than they wanted the last word, so that's how it's going to go. Jackie?
Interesting choice.
I do have to ask, though, I mean, this is all thrown into sharp relief when the two men are on stage debating, right? And it already feels like, the first presidential debate is set for June 27th. It already feels like the bar that is set for Biden to clear is so much substantially higher than the one Trump has to clear, which is literally, is he alive? Is he standing? Are the words coming out of his mouth? Setting aside what the words actually are. And I wonder if there's any way for Biden to overcome what seems like a structural disadvantage on, in the weeks leading up to what's going to be a pretty important inflection point in this campaign.
All right, folks. So if you didn't know, the first Trump-Biden debate on CNN is officially a week away. It's going to be on next Thursday. We will hopefully try to live stream it here, assuming we don't get copyrighted. So be sure to tune into that next Thursday. And also be sure to leave a like on this video and let me know how you think the Trump-Biden debate is going to go. But in today's video, I want to talk specifically about the peculiar debate prep strategy that Biden is currently undertaking, where he is essentially going to go into hiding for the next entire week and spend that whole week, quote unquote, preparing for the debate. And a lot of you guys have certain speculations about what Biden is really doing over his next week of disappearing into seclusion. But yeah, this is basically what is happening. Joe Biden will spend the next 7 days at Camp David preparing for next Thursday night's presidential debate hosted by CNN. And so I look at that and say, who the heck needs 7 days to prepare for the debate when they're the sitting president? I mean, I know that Joe Biden doesn't really run the country, and so I fully predict nothing's going to change over the next week. But you would at least think, in theory, as the sitting president, yeah, you got to spend some time, as usual, preparing for the debate. But you don't have an entire week to just take off and go on vacation just so you can focus on this debate. But that obviously tells you a lot about the current mental state of Joe Biden and why so much preparation is really necessary. But the big speculation is, what exactly are they doing over the next week that they're going to be spending 7 days only preparing for the debate in terms of Joe Biden? Okay, so this suggests a number of things. The most logical, I suppose, reasonable answer would be that Biden is so senile, he's so old, that they got to spend each day repeating to him, right, what to talk about during the debate. They'll be like, okay, Joe, what did we talk about yesterday? And then they got to be like, no, Joe, no, you got to call Trump an insurrectionist. Remember? He's like, oh, yeah, Jack. So, that's the most logical theory. But of course, everyone is making jokes about this. I said, are they putting him in cryo freeze or something? Who the heck needs 7 days of debate prep when they're the sitting president? And this is what some of you guys speculated, okay? So someone says, got to prepare his body for all of the uppers, all of the stimulants. Expert Tucker Carlson watcher says they're getting his tolerance down so he can hit the amphetamines harder. And, I never really thought of that, but that is actually a very valid and very interesting idea. They're trying to bring his body tolerance down. He's going to do some ayahuasca or something. So that way, when they give him the stimulants before the debate, he'll be ready to go again. Frankly, I have no idea. Someone says they're booting up a fresh clone and pumping it full of adrenaline and adrenochrome. Atlas Rust says updating the MK Ultra firmware. And Anti-Rudy says they got to put the makeup on the corpse and attach the string. So feel free to speculate, what exactly are they doing over the next week where Joe Biden needs to go into hiding at Camp David and spend 7 days of debate prep? Would love to hear your thoughts. But okay, all the joking aside and all the ridiculousness aside of that, here's what's very interesting. Read an article from CNN while I was preparing this video that says the Biden camp plans to lean heavily on prior Trump comments that, while widely covered by the political media, may not have registered on the radars of the average voter, according to sources involved in the discussions. And so this is essentially going to be the Biden debate strategy: is Orange Man bad? Orange Man said to inject bleach, which is not true. Orange Man said this and that. And, frankly, that's a pretty peculiar, I think, strategy for Biden, to say the least, because this is the exact strategy that they've done to Trump for the past 8 years, and we've seen has not worked, okay?
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
And, every time Biden tries to do this, he's been doing this for a while, it does not improve him in the polls. But I suppose, in fairness, what are you going to debate about if you're Joe Biden? Are you going to talk about the substance? Are you going to talk about your record, your performance as president? Well, obviously, again, in his defense, he can't exactly do that when his record is terrible. Him on the issues versus Trump, highly unpopular with the American people, whether it's the economy, immigration, national security, foreign policy, literally everything. All of the issues of substance, Biden is underwater. And so obviously the strategy by Biden is going to be, don't make the debate about the substance, make the debate about Donald Trump being a threat to democracy. It's a very dangerous strategy. Frankly, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. But I also think that provides Trump, again, rhetorically in this debate, actually a very strong opportunity where he can counter Joe Biden, who, they're going to put him on the Adderall. Okay, we're going to get the angry, crazy Joe Biden who's way overstimulated, just yelling nonsense about insurrection, democracy, all this stuff. I think Trump, although this is not usually what we have known him to be in historically American politics, I think Trump in this case has a strong opportunity to seem like the level-headed one, seem like the calm one, and seem like the reasonable one who is actually ready to talk about the issues. I think every time that Joe Biden throws in those stupid attacks, obviously Trump should respond, but he should also constantly point out, you are doing this because you don't want to make the debate about the substance. Let's talk about the issues that really matter to the American people. And I think in the case of Trump, that could be very strong, because I know as much as some people may want to see Trump just go on the hilarious personal attacks that he's done since 2016, in reality, doing that's not going to win any new voters, okay? All the strong Trump people, they'll still replay the clips of him attacking Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio and say it was so awesome. But ultimately, I think now, 2024, now that he's no longer candidate Donald Trump back then, just trying to vie for attention, vie for hype around his candidacy, now is the time, especially when Joe Biden is going to be on the drugs, allegedly, and going to be just yelling about things that don't matter. Now's the time really for Trump to actually appeal to the independents and show people that he actually is the more level-headed candidate in comparison to Joe Biden. Because what do people usually say about Trump? The Trump haters or the Trump skeptics, they're usually the ones saying, well, Donald Trump is so unhinged. He's so sporadic. Do you really want that guy holding the nuclear button, even though he held the nuclear button before and we didn't go to war? Well, now is the chance to prove those people wrong and shift back to the things that we know by polls Trump is popular on. Hammer the economy, hammer immigration, hammer foreign policy, and don't let the personal attacks kind of overcloud the debate. And, the debate, frankly, I think is strongly settled. I think that's an easy victory for Trump. And frankly, I really hope that's the strategy he employs this time, right?
Donald Trump's rhetoric and even his sort of swagger looks more like 2016 in the campaign you covered so closely, Katie, than he looks in 2020. And in fact, I was just discussing this with somebody we all know. He even noted, we were talking about this idea that when Trump's losing, the worst version of Trump shows up. And when Trump's winning or he thinks he's ahead, he's actually a different person, a different candidate. I think Vaughn could probably speak to this now. The Donald Trump in Detroit and those events he did, he was oddly loose. He was trying to be funny and all of this, where from about 2017 to 2022, we had, and even 2023 through the primaries, it's been nothing but angry grievance Trump, right? Angry, angry, angry. It's interesting if he somehow drops the grievance, But he could end up looking more like that 2016 candidate where he's the outside disruptor.
But it's hard to imagine.
But yeah, with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think they're doing at Camp David right now? You know, is he having like a Rocky IV training montage? You know, they're going to have Joe Biden. He's riding the bicycle up the mountain. And of course, he falls over a lot, but he finally makes it to the top and he says, Drago. I don't know. It's frankly kind of comical. Like, that's what I'm picturing in my head. But yeah, let me know. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Be sure to tune in to the Trump-Biden debate next Thursday. And until next time, Alpha Moves only. God bless. Have a very great rest of your day and peace.